How y'all doing? Welcome back to another motorcycle video. In today's episode, I'll be showing you the full video of this 2011 Kawasaki Ninja 250. Hope y'all enjoy. As you can see, there's quite a bit of dust on this. It's a little dirty, so let's go ahead and clean this bike up before we get to working on it and tearing it down. We've got a rag and some windshield wiper fluid. Let's clean this up. Looking better already. Before we get started, let's check to see if there's any oil in it. The sight glass in here doesn't look like there's anything, but it's on its side stand, so yep, looks like she's pretty full. She's got oil in it. Before we try turning the bike over at all, let's check the air filter, which should be behind this piece here. Yep, there's the air filter. Yeah, air filter doesn't look too bad. It's oiled up. And you look in there, there's not a whole lot of anything in there. It looks pretty clean. So we don't have any obstructions in the air box. There's oil in it. There is gas, but I was told that it was bad gas. So that is our next thing to check. After we get this back on, I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. The tank itself doesn't show any rust at all. Well, it might be a little bit old gas, but let's go ahead and see if it'll start up. I did slap the battery charger on for like an hour, but we'll see if that's enough to turn this key on. Yeah, lights are start popping up. Horn works. High-low beam is not working. The machine probably needs to be running for that. Turn signals light up, but they're not flashing, so I'm assuming the relay isn't in place. What the heck? Let's see if we can turn the fuel on. Sounds like fuel's running. Let's choke it. That's off. Let's see if it'll crank over. Yeah, it cranks over, but it seems like the battery's dead. So let's go ahead and pop the seat, and we'll throw a battery charger on it. Okay. The seat's already got the 2 bolts taken off, so let's pop that and set it over on our table. Throw our battery charger back on it. It says it's all the way charged up. Let's see if it has any more starting power. Oh, it popped over to life. It's draining that battery pretty good. Let's see if a jump pack will work. Not sure if my jump pack is charged, but we can give it a try. It says it has 4 bars, so let's try it again. Oh, try it one more time. As soon as you turn the choke off, it dies. Let's hear it one more time. It's even idling with the choke on. After hearing the bike run on choke, we can assess that the carburetors need to be cleaned. To get to them, we're going to have to remove the tank and the fairings, so let's go ahead and start with the fairings. To remove these fairings, you will have 7 bolts to remove and 7 push pins to remove. Your 7 bolts are 1 right here, 1 right here, 2 up here, 2 up here, and 1 on the inside of the fairing here. Your 7 push pins are 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 2 on the inside of the fairing. There is a 3rd up here that you do not have to pull, but you will have to pull these on both sides. Whereas these 3 here connect the bottom as one. There's one. That one came out a lot easier. There's 2. There's 3. Now we can switch to those ones that are on the inside here. And you simply push those in and pull the whole assembly out with your fingers. There it is. That 3rd push pin is up here that you don't have to remove. And I did that with a simple flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head bit I pushed the smaller ones in with. The 2 bottom bolts are a 5mm hex head. And the others are a 4mm hex head. The one just on the inside of the fairing here is also a 4mm. They have little plastic washers on them, so be mindful of those. Okay, now they should come apart. Note, Usually you have turning signals to worry about, and there's a wire that connects this whole fairing to the turn signals. This doesn't have the turn signals on it, and that's a problem we're going to have to address. There we go. Everything's starting to come loose. There we go. We do have some wires run up on the inside for some LED lights, however, that I did not know about. So we'll figure out how that's all figured in here, and we'll get this taken off. But for now, we'll set that there. And for the sake of brevity, we are just going to snip this here in the center someplace. We can always reattach it. As you can see, the fairing came off nice and easy. We got all of our screws and our push pins arranged nice and neat. The fairing is over on the table, up off the ground where it won't be kicked or stepped on, and we have full access to our engine here. We'll do the same thing on the other side. These wires here that aren't factory are running to some underglow lights that might have been draining the battery. So we're going to remove the battery, and we're going to remove all that wiring, and we'll see how we fare from there. As you can see, this battery was made in May of 2019. We're going to go ahead and put it on the charger and see if there's a problem with the battery. It's at like 50% right now, so maybe that's the issue. We'll let it charge for a while, and we will go back to taking the tank off. 10 millimeters are always the usual size. Okay, got a little bracket here, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a slight bend or a curve, and that goes to the inside to adjust for this little bump here on the gas tank. Put these in our little tray. Now you're not going to get a whole lot of play or movement with these. You always want to remember you got like these fairing covers that are right on the top part of this gas tank, but on the front part. So make sure to move those so they don't get busted. But then you're going to want to kind of gently pull it up, and you might even be able to get a little backwards movement, but have a block ready, and it'll come to rest right there, and you can get to everything a lot easier. I also want to note that the fuel gauge wire is over here on this side, and you'll want to take that off as well. Just a little clip that you push in and pull it apart. Matter of fact, I'll bring you over so you can see it. Right here is the fuel gauge wires. So we push that down there, and then you pull out on the connectors, and it should come apart. Now we can go back over to the other side and pull the fuel lines. Here's our petcock here. Of course, we got our fuel line and then on the back there is a vent line for that as well. We have this vent line, I'm assuming, for the tank that we'll have to pull off to get that and, you know, unrooted from where it's at. So I'll grab the tools and we'll get going. So yes, this is a vent line. It's ran down in through here. As you can see, it's kind of moving around in there. So we'll just keep tugging on it and feed it back up through here. And we'll feed it back down when we're done. So that tube is off. Now we've got our fuel line and our vent line on the back. Both of them have clamps on them. Okay. It's always nice to have variable size pliers. And this is still has the original line on it, the yellow marking from the factory. So this, I don't think this has even been moved. That is coming off so easily and smoothly. And it's probably going to dribble some gas. And we've still got our clamp on the back side here. Here it comes. Okay. Now that we've got the fuel lines off, we have the fuel indicator wires attached and unattached, and we have the vent tube unrouted. We should be able to remove that gas tank by edging it backwards. Again, don't forget to remove your plastic holders up at the front. And she's free. And as you can see, right in here are two carbs. See if I can get a better view. Here's the top of our two carbs. Our air box looks like it's in there pretty tight. So I think we're going to have to pull the battery box to make room for the air box to slide back just a little so we can get those carbs off. Okay, let's get rid of some of this wiring. It really runs all the way up in through here, so some of it might be on, I might be on camera, some not. But either way, we'll come back to all of it out and in a bundle here. So I'm pretty sure we got it all. And all of this was ran for underglow LEDs. And I'm pretty sure that's what was draining the battery. We'll start by taking out the battery box. We have 2 bolts here and 2 bolts down in the center. We also have this fuse or a relay. We're going to pull that and scooch that up out of the way. should pop right out. Set that over on the bench with the rest of our parts. We'll remove these 3 bolts for the air box cover so we can get a little bit more wiggle room when we take that off. There we go. Put this over on the table with the parts. The bolts for the battery box and the air box are JIS. The bolts that we're going to be taking out, these here, and these here, are all 10 millimeter. There is a bolt over here that needs to come out that is a 5 millimeter hex head. To begin, we'll start by taking out this fuse. Put these parts over on our table here. There we go. We can slide this back a little bit. Now we're going to loosen the intake boot clamps. There's 2 of them, and then we're going to loosen the air box clamps. The air box clamps use a 3 millimeter hex head, and the intake manifolds or the intake boots are a JIS. We're also going to be removing these hoses here. Got this one here, and then there is another one down here to help free up that air box. Okay, everything's loosened up. We'll go ahead and do it on the other side. I believe there is another bolt tucked down in here that's that 5 millimeter hex head. Take that out and see if we can get a little bit more movement. Oh yeah, she's moving now. Before the right side was just free. Now the left side's moving back some too. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Now that we've got some movement out of our air box and our carbs, let's get these throttle cables loosened up and taken off. We also have a choke cable to loosen up and taken off. Sorry I'm not getting a better angle here, but I can only do so much. Add a little lubrication here, get it. Okay, we had to loosen up the coolant reservoir to get in here. But there, we finally got the back one off. Get these straightened out here. And there we go. The push-pull system here for the throttle cable. We also have the choke cable back in here that we have to take off. Okay, choke cable is disconnected. And then there is a vent tube that needs to be pulled on the front side of the car, or on the back side of the carb here, in order for those carbs to rock out. Right up in here is a little hose that goes up to a T, and that actually goes to our gas line right up here. Comes down into here, T's, and goes right down into our carburetor right there. So that's what we're going to be taking out now. There we go. Came right off, right back on that nipple there. Alright, let's see if we can't get these carbs rocked out. There we go. They popped free. Let's go ahead and see if we can't pop this manifold off and get a little bit more wiggle room up through that side. She's still leaking quite a bit of gas though. Those carbs must have been awfully full. Look at all that. I'm going to try to clean up as we go. Because we took out that manifold, that's going to give us a lot more clearance. Look at that, they're just going to come right out. Alrighty. There we go. Let's get these cleaned up. Alrighty, let's get started. It was definitely full of fuel. Yeah, there's some green gunk down in there. We'll get that cleaned out. What the hell is that? See if our pin will pop out here. Oh yeah, slid out real nice and easy. Float looks good, sounds good, doesn't look like there's any fuel in it. Yeah, they definitely were running ethanol in here. You can tell because of the greenness in the bowl here, and then there's like some green gunk around here. Main jet looks clogged. See, look at all that green. That jet's clogged. The seat up in here looks pretty good. Look at all that fuel dumping out. Got to be coming from this carb now. Yeah, that's all green in there as well, and that was definitely dumping out from this carb here. Let's see if we can get this off. Well, we actually got the jet coming out, not the whole. I think that's the emulsion tube. That jet's clogged. Okay. We'll get that emulsion tube out in a second. Let's go ahead and take the pin out. came out nice and easy, just like the other one did. Needle looks good. Float is clear. Yeah. Just a whole bunch of green gunk in there. Alright, let's get this jet out of here. This starter jet, I believe. There we go. Took quite a bit, but yeah, that's got green gunk on it as well. Clogged as well. Alright. Let's see if we can get this emulsion tube out now. It didn't take a whole lot. That one actually don't look too bad, but you can see it's green there. It's clear down through the emulsion tube. But we've got some holes here that will clean out. Same way on the jets, we'll clean out everything here. We'll blow out all these passages, get everything all cleaned up, get the float bowls cleaned up. Alright. Alright, the jets were soaking for a while. Let's see if we can't get them clear. I got a piece of wire here. Maybe we can fiddle it down in through there and I think we made some progress there. Yep, look at that. That thing was so clogged I couldn't get nothing down in there. How about this other one here? Oh yeah, look at that. See that wire coming up through there? That's awesome. Alright. Just soak them in a little gum out. Can we get one of our tip cleaners through it? Not that one. No. How about this one? put this wire through it one more time and we'll call her good. We'll blow it out with that gum out. So this is a little Ninja 250. The pilot jet or the idle jet, you know, whatever it's called. That's going to be on the smaller side. So you'll want to get a piece out of like a wire wheel or something like that, because these pipe or these welding tip files don't work. Okay, I'll spray them off, and that'll be the end of it. Alrighty, they're all clear. So now we can go ahead and put all of our jets back in, get them all tightened up, get the floats back in, the needles, now these are just brass jets, you don't need to torque on them too hard. Just snug them up good and then they're in place. Okay. Now that's we'll put our needles back on our floats, and with our pin and there we go. One's done. Not sure if you could see that. You just slide it right on the inside of that there. There we go. Just slide the pin in like that. Alright, these are ready to have the bowls put back on. You'll notice there's a little curve here And that'll go with that there. Goes on just like that. Oops. And the same there. That goes on just like that. We got our screws here. We'll just snug these up. Make sure to snug these up with your screwdriver. Don't just leave it to the drill or impact, whatever you're using. Okay, carbs are rebuilt. Working good. We'll get them put on the bike. Alright, time to reinstall the carbs. Probably going to do a time lapse here so that way it saves us a little bit of time. Alright, carbs are back in. Alright, let's go ahead and throw this gas tank on. Now don't forget about your little plastic pieces here. We're going to give them a little bit of room to wiggle in. There we go. And don't forget we've got wires to connect and hoses to connect. So that's what I'm doing over here, is connecting the fuel gauge wires. There we go. And now I'm going to connect the vent line and the fuel line. Just about done. All we've got left to do is put back in the air box and secure the tank. And now for the tank. Don't forget about that little curve here we talked about in the first video. Okay, tank is secured. We'll throw some fuel in it, throw a battery in it, and we'll see if this thing will pop off. Okay, we got a drip. Probably from a carb. Just from the overflow. Do the old tap on the carb trick. Okay, and we're going to prime the system here. So let's turn it to on for a little bit. That should be good. All right. Let's see if she'll start up. Put the choke on here. Put it to run. Turn the key on and okay. That might be the fuel pump working. Horn's working. Okay. Maybe the battery's just not charging. So let's throw a jumper pack on it and see what we can do. See if that helps out. It sounded like it kind of wanted to turn over at first. Okay. Still got full charge on the jump pack here. See if that helps. Huh, look at that. It was running and idling. choke back off and starting to flutter, so that battery might be just dead dead. Alright, he's idling. Choke's off. Looks like our fuel gauge is working. Yeah. That's only like 10 grand. Red line's 12. There we go. He revs all the way up. Dropped right back down to idle, right between 1 and 2 grand. Throttle's a little sticky. Before we get to putting the fairing on, you want to make sure that you have all your tools and your hardware tray close by. So that way when you actually get the fairing into place, you don't have to reach far for the hardware and the tools. The tools that you're going to be using is a 5 and a 4mm hex head. And we're going to go ahead and time lapse this so that way you don't have to see me fiddle with the fairing to get it on. That way we can get to the better part of the video. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. She's all buttoned up. We still have to jump pack start this bike, so let's go ahead and get it started, get it warmed up, and take it for a ride. Turn the choke on. Let's go ahead and put the seat on. Sounds nice and quiet. Good. Turn the choke off. Right in between 1 and 2,000. Good. I'll put the harness on and we'll take it for a ride. Oh yeah, finding neutral just nice. Just clicked right in. Alrighty, I'd say problem fixed. Let's take it for another ride. I'd say she's running real good. I don't know when the camera dropped, but yeah, right up to the top of 12 grand. Third gear got us up to 55. Alrighty, I guess we'll put it away. One more little ride around. Can't believe that fell down again. Golly.
just 12 grand. God, I love this bike. What they say is true. It's fun to ride a slow bike fast. God, that was fun.
Alrighty y'all, that's it for this video. If you stayed to the end and you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I sure appreciate it, and it helps out the channel. Y'all have a good day.